It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw this quote online. I love the quote. The quote goes like this: truth always wins. Unfortunately, liars get their turns first. Truth always wins. Unfortunately, liars get their turns first. Now I want to ask all my industry friends, those friends of mine that sell supply and service print equipment, a question: is avoiding truth through deception or gaslighting a form of lying? Is avoiding the truth through deception or gaslighting a form of lying? Most logical people would say, well, hell yeah. I mean, if you use deception to hide the truth, you're a liar. If you gaslight to hide the truth, you're a liar. If you know the truth needs to be spoken and you know the truth and you refuse to speak it, not only are you a liar, I believe you're immoral. Ladies and gentlemen, our industry has a lot of weak people that are pandering to the insecurities of the industry's actors. They're pandering to you. A lot of the industry is on the fence of insecurity. They know they got to transition. They know they got to move into alternative deliverables. You got folks out there trying to do IT services. I've been extremely critical. Some would say negative around IT services, because I want my friends that transition into IT services to have a fighting chance. And when you see organizations like Konica Minolta's All Covered, not proving at all that they're successful, and when you look at Konica Minolta's numbers, it's a train wreck. I've challenged Konica Minolta and All Covered for 3 years. Konica Minolta and All Covered, they think it's a bunch of negativity. They actually send out emails and call up sponsors complaining about the negative end of the day with Ray. Konica Minolta, you know what? I still challenge you. Why don't you go on Andy's show? Why don't you write an article in ENX Magazine? Why don't you call up Frank Canada and give your positive alternative reality? Just remember, when you do it, I'm going to read it, I'm going to watch it, I'm going to study it, and I'm going to give my point of view on what you talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth will be so negative to the liars. The truth will be so negative to the liars. I want everybody to think about that. I've seen a lot of memes going up in our industry. Memes from famous people talking about positivity, negativity. Only hang around positivity. Avoid all negativity. Ladies and gentlemen, on the surface, that sounds pretty reasonable. I mean, we don't want to be around negativity. We want to be around positivity. But here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. You better personally be defining what's negative, and you better personally be defining what's positive. Because if you allow a pandering fool that wants to manipulate your insecurities to define what's negative or define what's positive, you know what's going to happen? You're going to fall off that fence you're on into the pasture of least resistance, the fields of status quo, with the pandering fool. The truth will be so negative to the liars. Ladies and gentlemen, think about our friends over there at Visual Edge IT Services. I exposed that story, which I should have done. They had a loan and non-accrual. You got Austin, their CEO, running around talking about how Visual Edge is this big home run success story when they're not paying their bill. Why should that not be discussed? Visual Edge will think that's negative. Oh, it's so negative. It's so terrible. But you know who doesn't think that's a negative story? The people that are thinking of maybe selling their business to a major roll-up and they want to leave some shares on the table. They're thinking to themselves, maybe we should rethink that. Maybe we shouldn't bet our retirement on something that's not happening. I think they see a positive side of that story. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to define what's positive and you have to define what's negative. Never allow a pandering fool that wants to manipulate you to define those terms for you. Because the truth will be so negative to the liars. I think about my friends over there at Lexmark. As far as I'm concerned, their website is full of deceit and lies. But you know what? They have an opportunity to share their alternative reality, to put their alternative positive spin on it, but they won't do it. Instead, what do? Well, they avoid the truth through deception and gaslighting. In other words, I'm convinced that Lexmark is lying. The truth would be so negative to the liars. I think about my friends over there at Collaborants, the master service provider. And yes, I brought them up a few different times on the end of the day with Ray, and I'm challenging Collaborants because Collaborants has a story the industry needs to understand as they transition into IT services and they want to use a master service provider. And my question has always been the same question to Collaborants: why is that failed so miserably inside the print channel? Now, if they want to say that it's some big success story inside the print channel, they could easily share their positive alternative reality instead of being convinced that Ray's just Mr. Negativity toward Collaborants. Where's the positive alternative reality, Collaborants? And it's important for our industry to understand that positive reality, if there is one. Because we see other folks in the space try to help our industry into IT services. And I've challenged a lot of those folks. Again, Ray's just so negative. He's so negative. The problem is they don't have a positive alternative reality. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth will be so negative to the liars. Is avoiding the truth through deception or gaslighting a form of lying? If you know what needs to be said, you know it's the truth, and you refuse to say it, are you immoral? Are you a liar? Our industry is in the crossroads, ladies and gentlemen. And one of those roads is going to take them right off a cliff. And one of those roads will take them to the future. And you could be in a bus with a whole bunch of people singing Kumbaya, slapping each other on the back, hugging and kissing each other. And in that bus, there's one or two people that are in the back screaming. We're going the wrong direction. We're going to run off a cliff. Stop the bus. Stop the bus. You know what the pandering, manipulating fools will do? They'll get the bus driver to pull over and throw out the people that are screaming, the people that are warning. And then, guess what? The bus will find itself at the bottom of the cliff. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth always wins. Unfortunately, liars get their turns first. Anybody who believes at the end of the day with Ray Venue is negative, I challenge you to publicly share your positive alternative reality or shut the hell up. It's my show. I can say whatever I want, right? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I finished 5 years. I'm just about ready to hit 1,000 episodes. I'm super excited about that. I'm super grateful for the audience. I'm super happy that there's more people in our industry that are on the side of continuous relevance than as opposed to being in the pasture of least resistance, the fields of status quo. Because everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all on Monday.